Welcome back. Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. We are back. It's good to be back. Back at it again. It's good to be back. That was ridiculous and stupid. That was Jake Paul. I've never really watched a Jake Paul fight before. He is the worst boxer I'd ever seen in my life. That was hard to watch. He is horrendous. His punches are wide and slow and telegraphed, and he drops his hands, and his chin is up in the air. It's hands down. His mouth is wide open. That's how you get your jaw broken like an idiot. He was the worst boxer. It looked like he had taken 2 boxing lessons at a boxing for fitness type thing, and it went into the ring. That was horrible. That was hard to watch. That's every negative adjective I can use to describe boxing. It was that bad, that horrendous, just an absolute train wreck, an absolute train wreck. That was I don't know how to describe that in any other way besides absolutely awful and horrendous. What's up, my man? Kyle says, I think what happened was probably for the best. I would have been sad to see Mike get KO'd. Yeah, I thought they were going to score a draw. Now, that loss goes on Mike Tyson's record. Like, that's a loss on Mike Tyson's record. Yes, that goes on his record. Oh, my gosh. That's embarrassing. So oh gosh. That is unfortunate. That goes on Mike Tyson's permanent record. You know, the card was great. Like, don't get me wrong. The card was really, really, really good. The card was good. Yeah, I thought pretty much every fight on it was good. Yeah, I thought the undercard Serrano Taylor, I thought was a great fight again and again. I'm gonna be honest, my Netflix was buffering and freezing up quite a bit. From what I saw, it looked like Serrano had dominated the fight, like she'd won the fight clearly. How did you guys have it? Did you guys have her winning pretty much every round, or how did you have that? I'm not surprised. I said it in my video. I said that, Katie Taylor is going to start 3 rounds up, and it was going to be almost impossible to get a decision off of her, and that proved to be the case. But how did you guys have it? Did you guys have Katie Taylor winning that fight? I mean, who did you have winning, Taylor or Serrano? I wasn't surprised at all, especially when they said unanimous. I knew that the fight was going to Katie Taylor. She's the female Canelo. She starts every fight 3 rounds up. Katie Taylor by travesty, Katie Taylor by robbery was not surprising at all, to say the least. That was expected. I thought Amanda won. Yeah, I thought Amanda won too. I thought it was clear. But did anyone else have that issue? Did anyone else have the issue with the buffering and the freezing and all that extra nonsense? It was bad. During that fight, it was bad. It was fine during the Barrios fight. It was fine at the end. Before that, I was watching my boy Cam Thomas cook in at the Garden. He scored 43-27 in the first half. He was cooking. So I started watching the Barrios fight. I watched earlier. I watched my Armando Casamonica fight. What did you guys think of that? The Lucas Body. Did you guys watch the undercard on the MVP YouTube page? The Lucas Body and Santa Monica fight. Did anyone watch that? It was a good fight. I thought Santa Monica won. It was obviously, I knew that fight was going to be super duper close, and It was 95, 95, 96, 94, and then 98, 92. So you got the one bogus scorecard. Barrios, I was hoping they were going to give my boy a Texas decision in Texas, but they didn't. They gave him a fair decision. I don't think the draw was ridiculous. It was just Barrios is so talented, and he's just so sloppy. Like he's never really learned how to fight. It's just tough to watch. I thought the head class they didn't. Yeah, they did. Kudos to Serrano. Serrano could have asked out of the fight. She could have said, "I can't see out of this," and they would have stopped it right then and there. And she fought through it, which is cool. Which is really, really cool. So kudos to Serrano. Absolute kudos to Serrano. She was tough, rugged, a fighter, perfect mentality. She fought through that. And she behaved like how you'd want a fighter to behave. She went out there. I thought she won the fight. Obviously, they stole it from her. They robbed her blind, terribly. It's what it is. They were all pretty close, except for Goya. I didn't watch the Goya fight. Like I was watching my boy Cam Thomas cook in the Garden. Nets lost. Brunson hit a 3-pointer with 6 seconds left. And then Nets lost by 2. Oh my, they had a shot of Mike Tyson with a shorts of I did see that. I did see that, Kyle. I was going back and forth. I did see that. That was unnecessary, to say the least. Good Lord. I don't even know what to make of that. That was fake, right? It was my boy Nate in the house. Nate in the building. That's my homie Nate. That was ridiculous. Look, Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. in that fight. It was an exhibition. It didn't count on his record. This counts on Mike Tyson's record, from what I'm being told. From what BoxRec has it, so I'm guessing it. Obviously, it does. I said this in the video I did breaking down the fight. I said that it was fake and rigged and ridiculous, and I said that. I think it was it fake. I mean, I think so. I think that was fake and ridiculous and rigged and fugazi. Absolutely. I think the KO or stoppage would have meant it was fixed. I think people were betting on a KO. So I think they wanted the over. I knew this thing was going to go the distance. I just thought they would score it a draw so Mike Tyson wouldn't get a loss on his record. And neither would Jake Paul. So I was betting on a draw. I didn't bet on this. I didn't bet my own money. But if I would have, the one bet I would – well, the bets I would have taken was I would have bet for one knockdown in the fight. I would have bet a draw, and I would have bet for the over. I knew that they was going the distance. Jake Paul and Tyson were sad to watch. Jake Paul should have finished him if he was a true boxer. Jake Paul is the worst boxer I'd ever seen in my life. Like I was telling my boy Nate when we were texting, I said he looks like he's had 2 amateur. He's had 2 boxing lessons in his life. Like he went into one of those boxing for fitness gyms in the morning that you go to before work, and some guy that had an 0-6 amateur record teaches you how to box. It looks like he had 2 of those. He is terrible. Jake Paul is the worst boxer I'd ever seen. Like, if you said Gary train him for a month, I'd have to start him from scratch, like basic 101, like just. And apparently he's been training for years. I don't really understand how he can be like everything he did was bad. It's hands down. He drops his hand mid combination. It's awful. His chin is up in the air. His mouth is open. Bro, that's how you get your jaw broken like an idiot. The punches are wide and slow and telegraphed. He's horrible. He's the worst boxer I'd ever seen. Like, if you give me an amateur with 20 fights, a run-of-the-mill amateur, just a guy who trains every day, decent amateur, loses every tournament in the second round, that guy annihilates Jake Paul. Jake Paul was horrible. Like, he was the worst boxer I'd ever seen. Sad display. Logan Paul won the night. Thank you, Gator. There was a horrible display. Mike Tyson, 58 years old. It is what it is. But that, Gator's correct. That was Jake Paul was horrendous. Charity event for Mike. Yeah. I stayed away from Jake Mike and Amanda Katie. I had to take the over on Amanda Katie. They're so skilled and so good. They're going the distance. They are going the distance. I knew that was going to happen. The only thing that was scaring me was the headbutt. I don't know how DraftKings does it. Like, if they would have stopped it for the headbutt, and I bet the fight to go the distance, and they stop it for the headbutt, how does DraftKings deal with that? DraftKings gives you your money back. It's a push on a draw. So Barrios got a draw. So if you guys are in my Patreon, you're good. You hit the lock of the week. It's just you don't get money for the Barrios leg. You don't lose, but you get your money back on that, but you still hit your parlay. You hit your parlay with everything with the other 4 legs that I hit. So we're good on that. It's the worst I've ever seen. Tyson's still biting his gloves. He thinks. Thanks, Gator. He thinks there's Salad trying to kill him. He did that post-prison. I remember seeing him do that. It's a habit. I've never seen anyone else do that, but he had done that in the past, biting his gloves. Usually to start the fight, he did it. He has done it before. Barrios to a draw was sad to watch. So how did you guys have that? I thought Barrios won. Barrios is so skilled and so gifted. I've been with, I've known Barrios since he was an amateur. He's a Texas kid. His original trainer, Rick Nunez, he trained with his dad and Rick Nunez originally. Rick Nunez took him over right before he turned pro. And he's one of my best friends in the sport. I've known Barrios since he was a kid turning pro, fighting at Cowboys Dance Hall in San Antonio. And he's so talented, right? Like, he's 6'1", he's long, he's powerful, but he was never taught how to fight ever. And he still crosses his feet. Like, he pulls straight back. He is pulling straight back. And he keeps getting hit with a right hand over and over again. Like, bend your knees, go to this. How does she? It's like Sauce Gardner not knowing how to tackle. I don't understand how you get to this level and can't do that. I don't understand. He's a 2-division world champion, and he's pulling straight back, getting hit with right hands. It's like, guy, to the side, bend your knees. I don't understand how that's not fixed. I don't understand. Barrios has been boxing since he's 18. I think he's 29 now. He's been boxing 21 years. No one's ever drilled that into him. I simply don't understand. They voided the Barrios leg of my parlay. Yeah, you're fine with that. You're good. Yeah, I mean, so the odds get a little worse, but you still hit your parlay when we hit the rest of it. Now Gator, Mike was pretending it was Holyfield's ear. Could Tyson have one if he sticks? Mike Tyson is a carnivore, from what he told Joe Rogan. Mike Tyson eats only raw meat. I can't vouch for the raw meat. You should probably cook it, but Mike Tyson says he eats only raw meat. He also said he broke his spine before whatever fight that was. So, I don't know, man. Barrios was really close. The last few, I had it 5-5 after 10 with the 2 knockdowns, so it was even still. But I thought Barrios pulled it out in the last 2. I wasn't furious with the draw. Okay, it was fine. But I thought Barrios pulled it out in the last 2 rounds. On my card, Barrios won. I wasn't infuriated with the draw. I was more infuriated. And I picked Katie Taylor to win. You go back and you watch my video. I said Katie Taylor starts 3 rounds up in every fight. She's the female Canelo. Right? She's going to win the fight if it goes on the scorecards. She's going to win. That's it. And it went to the cards. She lost every round. There were 3 people. That stadium holds 90,000 people. It was completely sold out, right? There were 3 people in that arena that think Katie Taylor won that fight, and those were the 3 judges. It is so frustrating when 90,000 people in the arena, millions of people watching, all have it the exact same way, and then the 3 judges have it the exact opposite way. It is so frustrating. Nobody thinks that Katie Taylor won that fight. Katie Taylor got her shit stuffed in by Amanda Serrano, who won the fight for the second time. Tyson wants to fight again. Who should he face? Amira? Mike Tyson should fight Holyfield again. Mike Tyson should. Look, Mike can do what he wants. If it was me, I wouldn't commission him to fight. Like, I wouldn't license him to fight. Like, I'm just not signing off for him to fight. But if he wants to fight, he should fight Chavez Jr. He should fight Holyfield again. Go fight Holyfield again. Man, Mike didn't eat Paul children tonight. He's 58 years old. Do you think, who he should fight? Mike Tyson should fight Shaq. Mike Tyson should fight Shaq. That's what Mike Tyson should do. Did you see Shaq there tonight? That guy is huge. He should fight Shaq. Do you think Paul Halbach? No, can he compete? No, Gator. He's the worst boxer I've ever. I don't mean this to be insulting. He's the worst boxer I've ever seen in my life. He's literally the worst boxer I've ever seen in my life. Every single thing he does is horrendous. It's horrible. If you just gave me, if you went to an amateur tournament and you just took an amateur that placed in the middle of the tournament, right? Made it to the second round. That guy had not. Jake Paul is awful. That amateur, that 20 amateur fights, not particularly good, destroys Jake Paul. Jake Paul's awful. I just thought it was atrocious. Like, I thought the scorecards, and I knew it was coming. I knew Katie Taylor, and that's why I picked Katie Taylor in my video. I said Katie Taylor starts up 3 rounds, so you have to win 8 rounds to get a draw. Oh, I think Fury. I read that it says Fury. I read it as, do you think Paul beats Usyk? Do I think Fury beats Usyk? What's your take on a rematch? I honestly think it looks a lot like the first fight. I don't think, I think both guys, and I'll go back and watch it again as we get closer. I know the fight's only a month away now, but as we get closer, I'll go back and watch the fight a couple of times. I think both guys fought the way they wanted to. Now, Usyk is 40. Fury's 35, so they're a little older. I said Usyk would age better than Fury because Usyk is a physical specimen. He's always in immaculate shape, and Tyson Fury gains 100 pounds and does blow and drinks 12 pints between fights. So I said that Usyk would age better, but I don't think the fight's going to look much different. I think the fight's going to look kind of like the last fight did. I think Fury's going to have moments. Fury's going to use his size. He's going to use his reach. But I ultimately think Usyk's going to get in and chop him down, and he's going to outwork him on the inside. He's going to break him down. He's going to win the fight late. If you ask me how I would bet this fight, I would say the same as the last time. I would say Usyk by decision. I'm not saying Fury can't win. It wasn't like Fury wasn't close or competitive. He was very close. It was close. He was very competitive in the fight. He had him at moments. If I remember, it's been a while, but at moments he was in control. He was doing his thing. He was up on the cards for a while until Usyk rallied and won the later portion of the fight. But I don't think it's going to be much different. I think Fury's going to have to just try to use the ring and try to keep Usyk at bay. But I don't ultimately think he can. I think Usyk is just too good. His footwork is too good. His angles are too good. He's too busy. Where eventually Fury, it's going to slow down, and when he does, Usyk's going to get inside and outwork him. So I don't think the fight looks a whole lot different. I think in that first fight, both guys they executed how they wanted to fight, and just Usyk's a little bit better. So to answer your question, can Fury beat Usyk? He can, but he's got to be perfect. So I wouldn't bet on it. I would bet on Usyk, and not to say that it's out of the question. Right? It's like, Can Buffalo beat Kansas City? They got to be perfect. Like Kansas City's better, so perfect. Buffalo's got to be perfect. Jake Paul wants Canelo. Did you hear what Roy Jones said after the fight? Canelo, who is still considered a pound for pound top 5, top 10 guy, isn't looking for tough fights, so you never know. How awful was the commentators? And what? So Rosie Perez, the commentators are awful. Rosie Perez is a huge fight fan. When they used to have fights at the Barclays all the time, she used to be first row, front row, and she just became kind of like the Spike Lee to boxing events at the Barclays. Like she was always there sitting front row. She's a huge fight fan, so I don't know why they had her in the booth, but she's a fight fan. She was at all the fights when they were at the Barclays. You know, when PBC used to have fights at the Barclays like every month, she was always there. And she's a big fight fan, so they had her in the booth. I would pay to watch that because Canelo would mop the floors with them. I get it, but like Canelo is the biggest name and he's still the biggest draw in the sport. I want to see him fight Benavidez or David Morrell, not Jake Paul. Like if he was 42 or 48 and he's still a world champion, he's still on everyone's pound for pound list. Like fight the best fighters in the world. Buffalo got to pick up. Yeah, Buffalo's got to do the same thing Amanda Serrano's got to do. You got to beat him. You got to beat him by 5, right? Like you got to beat Kansas City by 3 scores to actually win the game, and you got to beat Serrano. You got to beat Katie Taylor by 5 rounds. Do you like Roy Jones on the mic? I can't. He's all right. Like there's worse people. I mean, he's not the best. Andre Ward is the best, and they don't. Roy Jones is all right. Roy Jones is okay. He's a 5 out of 10. Yeah. You're supposed to be enamored that it's Rosie Perez. Canelo versus Benavidez. Canelo versus Morrell. Like I'd rather see him fight David Benavidez versus Jake Paul. But for some reason, I'll never understand. There's probably more money in him fighting Jake Paul, so he'll fight Jake Paul. And this is why. What if I want to say to you, Jake Paul is going to play Isaiah Thomas or Hakeem Olajuwon in a game of one-on-one? Do you think like the whole basketball world would go bananas over that? That's what this is. Like, I don't understand why this was a big deal in the boxing community. I understand why non-boxing fans I don't look. I'm guilty too. I was like, I'm not gonna watch this crap, and then I watched every second of it. So I guess I'm guilty of it too. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. Kept crashing the stream. Okay, so I wasn't alone with that. Yeah, I was having problems specifically during the Taylor Serrano fight. I had a lot of problems with it. You got to be up 3 scores on the Chiefs in the last minute to have a chance. You got to beat them by 3 scores to get a tie. HBO, you had Roy, they had Andre Ward, they had Lampley and Merchant. You know, the thing with Lampley is he was so biased, right? And it got frustrating, but he was so good at calling a fight. He was so good. And then Merchant was his tag team partner. And then you had Harold Letterman. Hey, Jim! Right. Yeah, the HBO team was special. That was like of any team, announcing team in any sport I've ever seen. Like I think that they were the best, except when they brought Max in. I couldn't stand Max. Foreman was good. Is it me to hope that Paul brothers enjoy a nice big salad tonight? I think so, Gator. I think so. The salad could kill them. They could die from the salad. Let me just check something real quick. So the parlay is still good. All right. The only thing we need to hit tomorrow is Oscar Cayazzo, and we hit our 4-leg parlay. Let me see what the new odds on that are. Hang on 1 second. How did you guys, by the way, how did everybody have that fight? The Barrios fight. Did everyone have it for Mario? I had it 8-4. So what? One. Five. I'm sorry, 7-5. So 114, 112. All right, so we're gonna get minus on that parlay. We're gonna get minus 530. Minus 230. I'm sorry. It's not terrible, right? We still hit it. It's minus 230. We're good. Boxing on Max, please. HBO. Make boxing great again. The other boxing place I mentioned before picked Wappole and Mike to win tonight. I didn't see the Wappole thing and the Mike Tyson thing I wasn't touching. Barrios and Ramos got a draw. Barrios knocked him down in the first round, dominated the first 5 fights, then got knocked down in the 6th, lost 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12 were close. I gave the 10th to Ramos and then the 11th and 12th to Barrios. I thought Barrios won by winning those. It was a really great fight. It was a draw, and I'm not upset with the draw. The draw is fine. I thought Barrios won. As I was asking y'all if y'all watched it, how y'all had it, but I thought Barrios won the fight. But a draw, which wasn't the worst thing in the world. I think the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano decision was 10 times worse. Really close. I thought either could have won, but once the blood starts spraying, I get a little squirm. All right. So let's just look at what we got tomorrow, guys, and I'm gonna wrap this up. Wrap this up in just a minute. That's not what I want. All right, so the only thing left on our parlay to hit tomorrow is this, but we got a good Golden Boy card. Once we hit the hell. Once we hit Cayazzo, we're good. Durate, Ramirez. It's a good card, man. It's a really good card. That's a deep card. 5-fight card. All 5 fights are good. I'm into that. What time does that start tomorrow? Who knows what time that starts tomorrow? Because I'm into that card. The whole thing is sexy as hell. I like that whole card. It starts at noon tomorrow. Yeah, no, it's free. It's on the Zone. Well, you got to pay $30 a month for the Zone now, whatever it is. Got to give your first 3 kids and a hair follicle to watch the Zone now, and the trash they have on it. But it's a good card. It's a really, really good card. I like it a lot. It's a good card. All right, 12 p.m. Eastern. So it starts the same time as my friggin' Longhorns game. The good news is it's one of those Saudi Arabia cards, so it's going to go on for 15 hours. So I can still watch my Longhorns and do this. 12 p.m. I believe. I'm supposed to be free tomorrow. Yeah, it is. 5 p.m. UK time. And the card will last for 15 hours, and I'll have 3 hours in between fights. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. I hate boxing on Saturdays during college football season. Like, I'm such a big college football guy. Like, I want to watch college football. That's what I want to do. I want to watch college football. but I have to watch boxing. So it's like my job or my hobby, and I want to watch college football, but I got to watch boxing. And this is a great card. But a lot of times, like, there's trash on it. It's like, can't you put this on Friday? Like, I don't want to put this. I don't want this against college football. They gave away a car too. They gave away a car. I didn't know this. So there's really nothing on this for next week. There's no boxing on next week at all. That can't be right. That can't be right. Is next week Thanksgiving? No. I'm as confused as anyone can possibly be right now. Hang on. Let me check something real quick. We got another card on the zone. I guess there's not much on next week. I don't know. You can watch this. We got the Star Boxing card. There's nothing on TV next week besides the Star Boxing card. All right. I don't know. Next week looks whack. I'll come up with something for you guys. We'll figure out a way to make money next week. 2 weeks. Yeah. All right. Next week's going to suck. I'll try to figure out something. I want to get you guys a lock. I was so paranoid. I thought the results of Paul versus Tyson were going to get read out as a draw. I was hoping they were. Mike Tyson gets an L on his real record now because of this. How ridiculous is that? This is the most ridiculous thing ever. All right, y'all. I appreciate everyone dropping by. Much love for y'all. Think y'all are the best. So I got a friend, Rob, that I used to do a podcast with. He's in the UK, and he's super happy that Katie Taylor got the win. And that's frustrating to me because she clearly lost. Like she clearly lost. Remember when I bet 15 on Jake? I told you I would be. Oh, Retro is here. Retro. I'm glad that, yes, you did, Retro. You did, Retro. That dude is 60 years old. No, Retro is speaking facts. Retro, you do your victory lap, bro. Do your victory lap. I'm half Irish. I don't feel much pride after that one. It was honestly hard for me to watch. It's not a good decision. Not good. Retro wasn't capping. How much did you win? Did you win 15? So what did you win? You won about 7, 8K on it? What did you win? What did you walk away with, Retro? Well, look, Mike Tyson is 60 years old, and Jake Paul is the worst boxer I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even. He is horrible. But that makes no difference. Retro. I was against betting on that fight altogether. It was painful to watch. All right, yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up. Retro, congrats to you. Shout out to you. Go get that bag, kid. I'm happy for you. But I'll be back November 16th, 2024. From Texas to the world. If there's any last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, put them in there now. Otherwise, I'm gonna head out. I got some stuff I gotta do. Yeah, I'm going out tomorrow. I'll be live to count our bag. We'll count our bag together after the the only thing we got tomorrow on the if you guys are in the Patreon, if you guys aren't in the Patreon, I'm gonna put the link in there now. Join the Patreon. Zordo is fighting tomorrow. Yeah, it's a good card. Tomorrow at the show, I will be live. 100%. 100%. It's the only fight that is interesting tomorrow. No, I agree. I 100% agree. It's the only fight that is interesting tomorrow. No, tomorrow is the show. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to have the show. I think tomorrow's card is good. The card is interesting. I think Ramirez Barbosa, which I dropped the video on today. That's out. Check that out. Is a good fight. Zepeda is going to destroy Farmer. Gilberto de Ramirez and Chris Billum Smith is a good fight. I like Gilberto. I think it's a good card. I think it's a good card. Oh, Ryan's in the house. Durante. I went back and forth on this. I keep going back and forth on this. Probably Akhmadov. It's even money now. I probably like Akhmadov in that fight. Yeah, I like Akhmadov. Not with a ton of confidence, but you're right. It's going to be a war. I like violence. I like the fans to win that fight. It's good seeing you again, Ryan. I'm going to be live again tomorrow. I'm going to go live for y'all tomorrow. So don't go nowhere. I'll be back tomorrow. It's November 16th, 2024. From Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.